Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for people who play the clarinet. I'm Cody.
And I'm Tyler.
Fun fact, right out the gate, Steven Spielberg plays the clarinet, and he played first clarinet on the music for the beach scene, 4th of July beach scene. Aren't you so glad you know this?
Yep.
What did we watch, Tyler?
We watched Jaws. Now, not Jaws the Revenge. Was it the Revenge or the Revenge-ing?
There are enough
The Revenge?
Jaws sequels that I think you can make up any title, and I think it would work.
Not Jaws the Jaws-ing.
Jaws?
Jaws
You
2.
got Jaws. You got Jaws the video game. You got Jaws 2. Jaws 3D. That's the one with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
And, of course, Jaws the Revenge. Also a 1981 movie called The Last Shark.
Yeah.
1995 movie Cruel Jaws. And that's it. That's all I got.
So I couldn't come up with any name.
Just The Revenge. Yeah, that was the only one.
It's just The Revenge. Which I pulled a gem of a quote from.
Okay.
Which is Brody. No, the son of Brody. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking to his mother. And he says, Dad died of a heart attack. And Mom says, no, he died of fear. The fear of it killed him. Speaking, of course, of the shark hunting their family across time and space.
Because Brody's in the first two. And then the next two have to be about other
His
people.
sons.
Dennis Quaid.
The third one is he
And,
plays his son. That's who Dennis Quaid plays, for all of you wondering.
Man.
And then I don't know who plays. Yeah.
And you know Charlton Heston was the first choice for Brody?
Yeah. I didn't know that, but yeah.
He had been in like two movies, like 2 years before that, like disaster movies where he was the hero, and Spielberg's like, everyone's going to know that he's going to win in the end, so we can't have him be it.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Here's what I tell you right now.
Talk to me.
Out the gate, Charlton Heston, if he had been cast in the role, he would have had his shirt off a lot more, and he would have been glistening a lot.
Would have been a better movie.
Would have been glistening for days.
You would have been all the more surprised by the appearance of a shark because you've been so focused on the glisten.
Yeah. It's in a contract.
So sweaty, so glistening. You don't know where his sweat ends and the ocean begins, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tyler, do you want to try to explain the plot of this movie? A little synopsis for the people that aren't familiar?
Yeah. There's a shark.
Good job.
Yeah.
You nailed it. You did.
It's not a barracuda. It's a shark. And three wacky friends have to go on an adventure to brutally murder or get murdered by the shark.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a movie about a shark. What'd you think? What are your first impressions? It's a classic movie.
Classic.
1975. It's called a landmark film, people have said.
Was this made by Landmark? That did the publishers?
No.
Oh. It's all right. Which, as we all know, is the highest praise I give movies. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think this is the first time both of us have seen the film. Right? Is it the first time you've seen it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it all the way through. And I'm mad at myself for that. I've seen
But
most
you hadn't
of it.
seen it.
Yeah,
as
I've
a
seen
whole.
most of it. Family have sat down and watched it. And I've probably left or just come in at the good parts because I don't remember like a lot of the beginning.
Yeah.
But
I liked it. I thought it was very good. I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad to experience it. I thought it was really good. It was one of those. It's not super scary based on today's standards, but I think for the time, I can imagine it being, really surprising, especially for it being like a really big movie. Like, everybody saw this movie when it came out. It was like the big movie of the time, and I hear a lot of people always say like, "Oh man, I couldn't go swimming after it. Like, I couldn't go to the beach after watching the movie for a while."
Oh yeah,
I could see it. It was very good.
It was a good
I
time.
enjoyed the thrills, the spills,
I'm sorry.
chills.
It is a thriller, but it is. I don't see spiller in the genres here.
I noticed a few people spill a couple things, so I
Yeah.
would contend that it is.
I'll write a letter to IMDb.
I think it held up pretty well, for several reasons that I'll get into later.
All right. So what? You just want to get into it? You just want to?
I don't know. You tell me. You tell me.
You just want to hop on the back of this mechanical shark
I do.
and pray that we don't get ripped to shreds by it,
Yeah.
and just sail away like SpongeBob riding the Hasselhoff into the sunset.
I would like that very much.
Yeah. All the way to Spoiler Town. Where's Amity? USA, that's where it is.
It's in the USA. If I had to venture a guess, I would say Maine or New Jersey.
Or Connecticut.
That's my guess. I would guess New Jersey.
That makes sense
Here's the thing.
to me.
They said Amity. I'm like, gosh, where is Amity? And like 1 minute later, they were like, Long Island, New Jersey, Connecticut. These are all the places the tour. I was like, oh, okay. It's in the Northeast. I got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where it's probably there. He's from New York. They make a very quick little thing about it in the beginning, where he speaks a New York accent.
Yeah, because he's a New York cop.
Yeah.
He's a beat cop.
Here's the thing.
New York City.
Because I thought somebody said, "Are you a local?" And he said, "No, I'm just here for the summer." But I think what he said was, "I just got here this summer." What did he say, Cody? Enlighten me. Look through your notes. Pore over them.
I was a little confused because, well, they talked about it being his first summer. Because it's like, oh, they moved there in the fall, so they hadn't been there for the summer yet. And it's like, it's a destination beach city, so the summer's their big time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was a little confusing. I do remember something along those lines. I don't know.
Just him and his goober deputy.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go over some places called Amity, and you tell me which one's right. There's Amity, Arkansas.
Yep.
There's Amity, quote, New Haven in Connecticut. Amity, Georgia. Amity, Indiana. Amity, Maine. Amity, Missouri. Amity, New York. Amity, Orange County, New York, which is a hamlet. Amity, Montgomery County, Ohio, which is an unincorporated community. There's Amity in Knox County, Ohio, which is also unincorporated. There's also Amity, Madison County, Ohio, which is unincorporated. There's Amity, Oregon, which is a city. Amity Hills, Oregon, which is a range of hills northeast of Amity. Amity, Pennsylvania, which is also unincorporated. There's Amity in Bucks County, and there's Amity Township. Also, Amity, Queensland in Australia.
Is it Amity quotes New Haven or like parentheses New Haven? These are important details.
I don't know.
You're looking.
Here's the thing. I'm looking at it in Wikipedia. It doesn't say Amity parentheses the one from Jaws. That's my problem. I'm looking at New Haven, and it doesn't mention Jaws at all. All right.
Right.
Now, if I click on Amity, Maine, Okay, it's got population. It appears to be on the coast. And it doesn't have any fun facts. Like, so it's got to be New York, right?
Well,
Because they talk about Islander. Well, no. Is Amity an island?
Yeah, it's an island. Only if you're looking at it from the ocean, though.
Well, Amity, New York is not on the coast.
Yeah. But is New Haven
So
/
is it
Amity?
Maine? New Haven wasn't clear.
Is it an island?
Okay.
Cody, these are the details you got to come ready with, because I didn't.
See, it says a New England tourist town of Amity, which would reference Maine. Because New York is not part of New England. So it's got to be Amity, Maine, right?
Maybe.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Though the film takes place in the fictional town of Amity Island in New York,
Yeah.
it was actually filmed in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts.
Which they mention as a competitor. How dare they?
Yeah. So what's that about?
Yeah, also, I just searched Amity Island and got the same exact thing. I feel like you failed me here, and I want you to know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stand by that it is in Queensland. That's where it all takes place.
It's an American colony in Australia.
Yeah.
Of people primarily from the Northeast. Wanted to form their own little haven.
Yeah.
All right. Here are my thoughts on this movie.
Tell me your thoughts. Go on now.
Number one, when it starts, I was just like, here's all the white people, you know? Here's the problem with Hollywood, you know? There's no representation. Lo and behold, an hour later, at the 4th of July celebration, there's a black police officer. I was like, okay, we did it. We arrived. It's okay. We represented, and we can all feel good about it. So that was my first thought. I thought the guy was kind of funny. They're at a beach party. It's either very late at night or very early in the evening. And there's a lady who's like, oh, I'm going to go skinny dipping. And he's like, oh, I'm all in. Except he's too drunk. I thought it was kind of funny. He's like, I'm not drunk. I can swim. Like, oh no, this man's going to die. Fortunately, he passes out before getting to the water. Yeah. Unfortunately, the lady who was running ahead of him does get eaten by a shark.
She does. She gets...
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, half of her gets eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah, she she gets there. She gets, classic great white hunting techniques. They like to get, like, maybe a quarter of an inch below the water, turn sideways at a certain angle so that none of their fins break the surface, and then just slowly float into you with their mouths open.
Okay.
And then just start whipping you back and forth.
Yeah.
That's where the alligators learned it from.
So was there like one alligator that took a shark as a sensei to learn it? Or is there a more formal, was it a convention?
Yeah.
Where are these sorts of techniques traded?
If you've seen the documentary series, or maybe, was it Monster Shark versus Super Gator or something, right?
Yeah.
You would know there was some beef. And then as they came together...
Gator and shark community? Okay.
They came together to squash the beef, Cody.
Okay.
And as part of it, they had, kind of like, when... Like in Game of Thrones, when you win, you take the son of the lord that you've conquered. Whichever side won... The sharks, they took the gators, and they took them. That's how we have the saltwater crocodiles. They turned into crocodiles, and then into saltwater crocodiles.
Interesting.
Then the crocodiles went back in the rivers, and that's how we get regular crocodiles. But they're the product of, they taught them
Tyler,
how to...
I feel like all your knowledge is wasted on our movie podcast. You need to be in with the Irwins. You need to be in with, the nature documentary community, sharing this at a zoo of some, at a natural wildlife preserve. What happened, What led you away from that life into this life?
Here's the problem. I did the application. First question is, are you over the age of 60 and British? And I said no, and they're like, get out. And that's the end of that.
I guess that's probably the same reason James Cameron has been making movies for so long.
Yeah.
Couldn't get in. All right.
Yeah. Have you seen the documentaries where he does any kind of talking? It's insufferable. He's not nearly old or British enough.
That's a good point.
He needs to be at least 5% older and 30% more British.
I mean, what percent of Canada is British? Okay, let's exclude Montreal. Okay, we're excluding Quebec because that's French, right? The rest of Canada, how British is it? What percentage?
Anywhere from 17 to 75%.
Really?
75.2 technically.
Okay. I did write down that no. A real shark would eat someone way faster, because they would grab you, they would shake you into chunks, take the chunks they wanted, and swim away, right?
Yeah.
He really toyed around with her. She drug her this way a little bit. She's like, "Wah!" And drug her the other way. She's like, "Eh." And I understand it's more suspenseful that way, but I was kind of like, come on. Fight with the shark, bing, bang, boom, Mm-hmm. It's pretty quick. I don't feel like there's a lot of fight. There's not a lot of fight you can do as a human with no weapons in the water, Yeah. Like, you're not Jason Statham, and you can't do it.
Right. Here's what I want to know. And I was a fool, and I could have easily asked anybody this question. But what I want to know is, what was it like for those people who, grew up seeing Jaws, being terrified of the sharks, thinking the shark comes up, gets you, and you're like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
What was that? And then it drags you around, and you're like, oh, no. I think I might be getting attacked by a shark. And then you get attacked by the shark.
Yeah.
And then they see the video of how great whites actually hunt, where they're like a quarter of a mile under the water and then rocket themselves like 50 feet into the air to hit whatever they're hunting.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're dead. When a shark the size of a car rockets into you from underneath, everything's gone. You're gone. And they're not going to save you. And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
You really don't get away from that, do you? And they're like, no, you don't.
You don't. It is interesting. There's so many different kinds of sharks. Like, I've heard of, not great whites, but like other kinds of sharks that are just kind of more curious, Like, they'll be like a kayaker on the ocean. It's like, what is that? So, like, they bump the kayak. Like, is that a turtle? Can I eat that? I guess not. I'll leave,
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Like, most shark attacks are it just being like, the F are you?
Yeah.
Nyom. Nah, I don't want that. And then they swim away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. Have you ever seen? Because later in the movie, there's a shark cage featured.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen the videos of people like they'll be diving with big sharks, like the big great whites or something? Mm-hmm. And when it comes down to it, if a great white shark wants to get into that shark cage, it can get into the shark cage. Mm-hmm. It can get right on in there. So there's videos of them. Sometimes they will like, I want to get you. I want to know what's going on in here, and they'll be like, nyam, nyam. And everybody's like, aha! And then Dive Master's just like, stop. And he's just like smacking the snout and like shoving it back out. And they're like, no. And it's just like this giant, like however many tons of deadly fish trying to get in. And he's like treating it the way you treat like a puppy trying to get in.
Like a dog biting.
You're like, no.
You're like, no, you can't have that. It's not for you. That's funny. I mean, sharks are pretty scary. And I know a lot of sharks aren't that big, but great whites are quite big. I've been in my share of like shark tunnels, where you walk through and you can see that they're big.
Yeah.
And to the point of them, they talk about like, sharks just got dead eyes, like a doll's eyes, right? And you're like, they really do. Just like these little black eyes. And you're like, oh, that thing doesn't even look like it's doing anything and just kind of like waiting for something to come in its mouth so it can just munch on it, you know? Mm-hmm. Quite exquisite creatures.
Yeah.
Did you notice the Hitchcock zoom in this movie? Did you catch it?
I did. Didn't I say something about it?
I don't know if you did. You probably said something while I was writing a note about it.
I think I called it a punch zoom because it wasn't as twisty, I felt like, as the Hitchcock.
Yeah, you can. Sometimes they do the slower. You can do it slower or faster. It did go in rather fast. I just it's like wired in my brain. Anytime it happens, I'm like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, but where was the Wilhelm scream?
I didn't hear one in this one. When did the Wilhelm scream become a thing?
I don't know. I feel like Star Wars is what everybody uses as like, here's where it is. So probably around that time, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. Hey Google, when did the Wilhelm scream become a tradition?
Sorry, I don't have any information about that.
Of course you don't.
Google's failed us again.
Let's see. Did you notice how good the blood geyser was that first time someone's I think it's when they're on the beach with all the people and the shark attacks.
And it looks like the kid just got dropped into a blender. Yeah.
I rather enjoyed it. I was like, that's pretty good. I
was like, it'll be fine. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. That's what I said.
I appreciated this movie. I had learned a little bit about this movie in one of the film classes I took. And it was interesting. We mostly learned about, like, you know, Steven Spielberg making it and them spending so much time shooting the shark, and like there was so little usable footage of it, and he just like, I wanted to put so much shark footage in because I spent so much time shooting it, and it just only ended up with like 2 minutes of shark footage in the whole movie because that's all it looks good. But I think most good horror movies and thrillers kind of borrow from that, right? You can't just like show the thing the whole time. It no longer becomes a scary thing.
Yeah.
So that's like what I mostly knew about it. I didn't realize it's a pretty solid plot to the movie. And I guess it is based on a book, but I don't know. I appreciate the whole politics of it, and I've seen like people tweet about how it's really similar to like the COVID-19 thing, where like the politics really gets in the way of like, hey, there's a deadly thing happening that, you know, that's what we're worried about, not so much the whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting, like, the mayor being like, look, if we have a shark attack, no one's going to come to our beaches. We need that money. Like, we need that revenue. Like, our economy's going to be terrible if, like, it's not a big deal. Don't even worry about it. I thought it was really interesting, because, like, in the beginning, the sheriff's like, hey, close these beaches. We've got to figure out what's going on. And the police like, nope, brush it under the rug. It's okay. We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
It's probably not even anything.
He says, you know, what he says to him exactly, Cody, if you'll remember, which is classic quote. If you yell barracuda, everybody goes, what? Huh? What? But you yell shark, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he said. And I'm like, first off, do you think a barracuda killed these people? Because at one time they're like, shark did it. Nope, boat did it. Nope, barracuda did it. Mm-hmm. Nope, shark boat cuda did it. What?
Oh, yeah.
Who yells barracuda?
I do. Look, anytime anything bad happens, I'm the first to blame the barracuda community. We all know they're outsiders, right? They were never included in the gator shark collaboration.
Yeah,
they're bitter.
They're what you could call a rogue state.
They want the credit that's deserved. They're like, look, we've got the weirdest mouths and the scariest teeth, and they want to be honored as the true villains of the ocean.
Yeah. But what's your feeling on the oarfish? What if an oarfish had done it?
I'd be like, huh? What?
Exactly. Terrifying. That's what they are.
What's an oarfish?
Look it up. All you people out there, look it up. I've been terrified of these things my whole life.
Oarfish are large, greatly elongated, pelagic, lampiform fish belonging to the small family of Regulacidae, which I think are fish that are into the reggae scene.
Yeah.
That is a it's like That's got to be at least 12 feet long.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got a little... What's that thing floating in front of its head? It's got... What is it? What is it?
It's fish.
It's like an eel that's like big and a fish.
Yeah.
It's huge.
They sit upright in the water looking up.
What? Oh, there's one of it looking up.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, you don't.
I bet it's delicious.
Yeah. Now, since we're on the topic, Cody.
The largest bony fish alive.
Yeah.
It'd be 8 meters in length. That's like 15 feet. No, that's like 22 feet?
It's big. It's over 20 feet.
That's crazy.
It's almost as big as the shark.
Almost.
It's like a giant cutlass fish.
Stop making me look up fish, alright?
That's the only other, like, thin, silvery,
This must
creepy
be what it's
fish.
like to be in a room with James Cameron when he's like talking about ideas for his movie.
And then he brings up Atlantis. Yeah. I'll look up a cutlass fish and I'll point it to you so you can see while you tell me all your things.
Oh, man. There's so many classic things in this movie that even if you haven't seen the movie, you know about. There's the chalkboard thing where he scratches his nails on the chalkboard. It's classic, you know? It's just classic. I loved it. Here's the thing about, what's his name? Quint, played by Robert Shaw, the captain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about him.
Tell me.
If you don't want to have to write dialogue, he is a golden character. Because you can put like 4 words of a speech and be like, whatever, no one's going to get this. Like half of what he says, you're like, I don't know what you're saying, but I like the way you're saying it. The way you're mumbling those lines, you're delivering them very well.
Yeah. He was difficult to understand most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which was a real treat, like you said. But it was also confusing, Cody.
How so?
Because I couldn't understand what he was saying, and then everybody else reacted like they knew what he was saying because they knew the script.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. But it was great. I appreciated it.
There you go, Cody. You can see that from all the way over there, right?
Oh, stop showing me gross fish, man.
You've seen it now. Now you
like
know. They get so big. Oh, they get as big as a swordfish. The most terrifying of all the fish.
Yeah. I was like, who was saying something about what fish they were scared of? It was you. And it's swordfish.
Swordfish.
You ever eaten swordfish?
Yes.
It's pretty good.
I felt like I'd won.
Yeah.
I grew up terrified of swordfish. Not scared of sharks, not scared of crocodilis. It's not scared of nothing but swordfish.
If you're going to bring up crocodilus, how about we talk about one of my notes? A squalus.
I also have a squalus note.
What is a squalus?
Okay, Cody, let me draw your attention to later when he says, we're not talking about some dogfish.
Yeah.
A squalus is a dogfish shark. That's what a squalus is.
What? What does that even mean?
Squalus, here you go, is SQA or SQUALUS.
Squalus is a genus of dogfish sharks in the family Squalidae, commonly known as spur dogs, characterized by smooth dorsal fins, teeth in the upper and lower jaws in similar size, caudal peduncle with lateral keels, upper precaudal bit usually present, and caudal fin without subterminal notch. Okay, look. I didn't know this until just now. I hate oceanography. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being talked down to. I'm sick of having to read words. I don't know what they mean or what they're pronounced like. I don't like it.
Cody, it's all very simple, okay? That's what you need to know.
What movie are they throwing around the word squalus? Ugh. And then there's a part where, like, we're not talking about a tiger shark, and then someone's like, what? I like that part.
Like, he looks at him like he's like, no, you're just making stuff up.
Making stuff up.
I'm like, what?
Oh,
How
man.
stupid is this mayor?
Oh. I liked all the not all. I liked most of the performances in these movies. The three main characters, Brody, Quint, and Hooper, I thought were all great. I thought the mayor was pretty good for his part. The kids were kind of cute. Ellen Brody. Let's talk about her.
Okay.
The best line she says in the movie. She says it in this way. She keeps it spicy in her marriage. She's like, "Want to get drunk and fool around?" I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is." I couldn't do it.
You
Pretty
could
good
do it.
performances. I mean, I couldn't.
You just didn't like the line, but you
Want to
could.
get drunk and fool around? Like that's not her voice at all, except for when she says that line.
Yeah.
I don't know what her deal is. But good for her. You got to keep it spicy. You got to get sloshed. You gotta maintain the. What's the word?
Drunkenness. Cody, I found a list of 5 things the movie got wrong.
5 things?
5 things.
Okay.
Don't boil shark jaws. You end up with teeth and goo. Because it's cartilage.
Don't boil shark jaw.
Because
Who boiled it?
Quint was boiling shark jaws, apparently.
Oh.
In his shack.
Oh, that's
with all
cool.
the shark jaws.
What if he's making a brav?
Maybe he was. Maybe he eats shark teeth stew. Everybody's out here about shark fin soup. Nobody ever trying shark teeth stew.
Stew is where it's at.
Quint puts 3 harpoons attached to barrels into the shark.
Yeah.
The shark drowns with a barrel underwater. Hooter. Is that how you say his
Hooper?
name? Hooper. No.
Does it say Hooter?
Hooter. It actually says Hooter.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Who is tagged great whites with research group. I hate the names they come up with.
Do it. Say it.
Oshirch.
Okay.
It's ocean and research combined. So, this is a real person. Is why he's not in the movie.
Okay.
He wrote impossible on dumb name. Just a few round floats keep a large white at the surface. Okay, here's the point of this.
Okay.
The whole point
Come
was that
on.
it's impossible.
Okay, here's the thing. This is one thing I really liked about the movie is that you had a meter for how strong the shark was, right? Because like they put a barrel on it and like, well, they got him. That doesn't work. They put a second barrel on and you're like, well, this is nuts. They get that third barrel on. I thought it was a great suspense building moment. You're like, this thing got 3 barrels on it, and it's just like it doesn't even phase it.
Yeah,
And that's the whole point.
I know. So scratch that.
Do people think
4.
Jaws is supposed to be
It's a documentary.
like a super accurate portrayal of what a shark is and does?
Let's see what else they got for us. Let's see if they do have 5 facts or if they have one thing that was done.
All right, okay.
Here's part of the conversation between Brody and marine biologist with now this shark that swims along. Hooper says rogue. What's it called? Rogue. So he says it's saying rogue shark.
Yeah.
In 1950, Australian surgeon Victor Coppelson came up with the rogue shark theory, which stated that only sharks that attack people are those that have developed a taste for human flesh. There's 2 mistakes. They're doubling up on the same mistake. Sharks eat crabs. Fish, including other sharks.
Okay.
To sum up that whole paragraph, there's no such thing as a rogue shark. Let's see what their second thing about a rogue shark is. Oh, they identify a rogue shark as a shark that swims alone. All sharks swim alone, except some of them that don't, but most of them do.
Okay.
So that's their. So I'm gonna say they're at the 1 point. They get.
So there's what? They're saying all sharks are rogue, so there's no such thing as a rogue shark?
No.
If all sharks are rogue, then all sharks are rogue sharks. Am I wrong?
No, because they're saying it's for human flesh. And they're saying no shark has human flesh. Tastes. 'Cause where does it taste human flesh? When it ate a human.
Apparently, they've never seen Sharknado.
Exactly. Where they can also control a hurricane. Well, 4. This is the 4th point. Let's see. This is just the squalus, I think.
Okay.
where he just says a bunch of names and none of them are right. I'm gonna skip past all of that and say at the very end, basically, none of the things he says are correct.
Okay.
In his scientific speech. Brody says they lived to 2,000 or 3,000 years, and they're saying that's dumb. And it's like, but there are sharks that live that long.
But also, he wasn't saying all sharks live 2,000 years. He's like, Brody was reading a book, and he's like, or was it Brody or Hooper says, like, we don't know how long they live because we can't just track all these sharks.
Yeah.
Because they're out swimming in it. It's just like, we don't know.
So
maybe we know now because James Cameron's done a documentary about it, but we didn't know then.
Yeah. So, in short...
You can't just slice up a shark and count the rings, you know? Sharks aren't trees. Fact. Right?
Maybe.
Wait. Hold on. Are you telling me if you sliced open a shark and you counted the rings, you'd know how old it was?
I don't think so. I think it's only turtles that you can on their
shell. Oh, yeah. Okay. Fact number 2. Sharks don't have shells.
Exactly.
Until now. I propose a military initiative where we have armored sharks that we control for our Navy. What do you think? Look, your sonar, it can pick up a submarine, right? It's not going to pick up a shark.
Yeah. I mean, the movie, I don't know, doesn't the Meg cover all of this? I feel like that's what it covers it.
I haven't seen the Meg, but what I do know is they apparently stole my idea I just had.
Yeah. I don't know, though. It doesn't have a shell, or it does. Here's what I do know. Newspress.com?
Yeah.
Dumb. They got all the facts
I didn't like
wrong.
that article.
It was dumb. I wanted better facts.
Okay, here's the thing.
They came with bad facts.
They didn't write the article to be right. They wrote the article to get you to click on it. Not only did you click on it, you read the whole thing. They got you. That ad revenue, the 3 cents they made from you click on, it's already been made. Can't go back.
It's true.
Joke's on them, because everyone listening to this podcast doesn't have to click on their page. Yeah. Boom, roasted.
I took at least 3 clicks away from
3 clicks away, that's 9 cents they'll never see.
Exactly. That's the point. Don't give them a click.
All right, we just did our Lord of the Rings series. We discussed certain daddies. I have a new nomination for a new daddy. I think
Quint?
Chief Brody can get it.
You have Brody over Quint?
Quinn's great. He's like a fun drunk uncle. I wouldn't call him a daddy. Mm-hmm. I think Brody can get it. He's a family man, so he's unattainable, and he had a certain, he's not like the smooth daddy that Legolas is, but he is a daddy in his own right. He's got something about him. I think he has the daddy factor. What do you think?
I see where you're coming from. I see the daddy factor. Yeah. I will consent to him being admitted into the Hall of Daddies.
Yes. Got one. I felt bad for Brody because in the beginning he's like, close the beaches. And then they're like, no, we can't do it. Don't, whatever you do, don't worry about it. So then he does it. And then everyone blames him. And you're like, well, what about your mayor that made him not close the... You know what I'm saying? Why did everyone blame Brody? They were even like, Brody, you don't have the authority. He's like, I think I do. And they were like, no, you don't. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Here's why he didn't have the cojones of authority to do it. He didn't wear enough fun suits.
Oh my... Okay. I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to write it down.
Yeah, you did.
The mayor's suits, he had like 2 kind of good suits and 3 like... Oh, you're the insufferable rich mayor of Martha's Vineyard that thinks wearing clashing colors suits is good. It's a bad idea. They looked bad. I didn't like them.
What are you telling me? His multicolor rainbow lollipop, whatever striped suit?
Yeah, he looked like a man selling lollipops in like 1907.
correction. He looked like a pedophile selling lollipops.
Oh my gosh! And then they're on the so it's July 4th. Everyone's on the beach. No one's going in the water because they're all super nervous about the shark attack that happened like the day before or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to this old man and is like, "Hey, why aren't you in the water?" He's like, "I put on some suntan lotion." So I'm thinking, he's like, "Get in the water." And this poor man takes the hand of his wife and 2 daughters, and they like sadly, like a sad puppy, walk into the water. I'm like, oh, this is a horror show. This is terrible. This poor man. But also, if you were afraid to go in the water, I mean, I don't know, maybe if you did look like a candy striper pedophile, maybe I would do it, be more inclined to do it, but I was just like, oh, this poor man, he's so gullible and sad. I felt bad for that man. You know?
Yeah. That was the family that got, wasn't it? No,
that was a different family.
Different family, because we thought they were going to get got.
Yeah, we did think. I liked the misdirects in the movie. There were 2 big ones I noticed. The first one is they have the first 2 shark attacks, right? And then they're out, townspeople are out chumming, and they catch a shark.
Yeah.
And it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, we got it. And they're like, oh, sweet. We totally did it. High fives all around. And I thought that was a great, like, oh, of course, people would be lulled into false insecurity. That's not the real shark. I thought that was a really good plot point. Fun fact, that was a real shark that they caught in Florida because they couldn't catch it. There weren't any sharks big enough in that area to catch, but that was a real shark. Remember when I was like, oh, those eyes are super fake?
Yeah.
I think the close-up might have been, I still think that was fake.
Because those were painted on.
But they also were like, it decayed pretty quickly. So, like, it was hanging there, and literally at one point, like, the guts spilled out of the shark, and people were so gross. They were like, oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
But it was a real shark actually hanging out.
Yeah. They fall apart pretty quickly.
Can you imagine? Today, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Catch a shark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just mean they wouldn't show a real dead shark because of, like, PETA.
Yeah. PETA, they'll kill their families if they do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They sure will. So, and then the other one is they have the kids swimming around with a fake shark fin.
Yeah.
At that beach show, which I was like, oh yeah, and that's the thing, another like trope that you've seen, or something people pay homage to, the person swimming with the fake shark fin. It's like in all the cartoons and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it was pretty cool. But I liked that it had those like decoys, and even though it is an unbelievable thing, it's like, well, it's a crazy big shark and super aggressive, whatever. It made it more believable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I think the thing that made this movie such a lasting fear for people is the shark is not, it's not like a mutant shark. It's just a pretty big great white shark.
Yeah.
And it's within the range of a great white shark. Mm-hmm. Like, there could at any time be a great white swimming off of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Well,
even now that
it's like,
a lot of beaches are closed, I've seen reports of like, oh yeah, by the way, sharks are getting way closer to the shore because there's less like people. So the sharks are like, oh sweet, let me go check this out.
Yeah. Now I know like nowadays they have like the big shark nets up. Mm-hmm. So it's usually not something like a great white's not going to get through the net.
Yeah.
But like, it's the little guys. It's those little the little squalus.
You get a squalus in there.
Those little bottom feeder sharks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what those sharks are. They're the ones that got the mouth like on the bottom of their face.
Yeah.
So
the ones you pet.
Yeah. That's what a squalus is.
The stingray, and then or the whatever they're called, stingrays, manta rays.
Rays.
Yeah. Any of the rays, and then they'll sometimes have some squalus.
Yeah. You probably don't want to pet a stingray
because they sting.
Yeah, they'll sting you. Let's have a moment of silence for Steve Irwin.
And a moment of rage for the cameraman that put him in danger.
Yeah.
Remember when you could smoke in a hospital? That was the most 70s thing of this movie, is like someone's stressed out in the hospital smoking when they go. I was like, oh, this was a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, even then I was like, man, what kind of beach can you go to where there aren't already like shark spotters and you can smoke in a hospital and all of this? And I was like, oh, this is an old movie.
Drink wine out of a big old beverage glass.
Oh yeah.
Hooper brings over the glass of wine. He's got like probably like a 16-ounce glass. He just fills it up with wine.
Oh yeah,
that's good stuff.
And back in those days, you just show up. You got a bottle of wine. You show up and you're like, "Give me your food. I brought wine," and that's how the world worked.
That was a better time. Hooper, I really liked Hooper's character.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool.
He's rich, Cody.
Yeah, he's a rich guy. He's got them city hands.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I liked my favorite arc though. I think was Quint, because he goes from like just this like, who the freak is this guy? To like, oh, he does actually hunt sharks.
I like that thing. He hears the chalkboard thing. He's like, hey, look, this is the real deal. This is a big shark. He's a killer. I can catch him. No one's going to risk their life for $2,000. How about this? Throw me $10,000 plus $200 a day. I'll catch him for you.
Yeah. And
right off the bat, Brody's like, oh, we definitely need to get this guy to do it. And everyone's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But then they do. They do pay him, and he does go out with Brody, with Hooper, to fight the shark.
Yeah, to do battle with the Squalus.
Yeah.
Also, that was probably the most mumbled speech I've ever heard in any classic movie. Any movie, really.
Yeah.
He's like, kind of shark, oh my God, we can do this. Ain't nobody we got $10,000. They'll kill that shark for you. Come on, Jeffrey. Who's Jeffrey? Where was he? He just disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Also, what kind of nails does the man have that he can just scrape?
Well, it was also funny because he did the nails on the chalkboard, but then there's a drawing of a big old shark on the chalkboard. Did you notice that? Like,
yeah.
Wait, did he draw that?
I think absolutely. And did the shark have a spike on its nose? That's what it looked like.
We're dealing with a narwhal unicorn squalus, all right?
Well, he's like, he said squalus, so that means the mouth's on the bottom, so you got to pull the mouth up real high. That's why that's what it is. He knows.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Oscillus. But the rich marine biologist, dude, from Oshurch.
I hate that.
Cody,
what?
Do yourself a favor and not a favor at the same time. One day, look through the names of marine biology and just general oceanography research firms and companies and institutes. Mm-hmm. They're the worst. It's like, you got guys like Elon Musk, and it's like, what are we gonna name our space company? SpaceX, because they made X.com. I like the letter X, SpaceX. That's what we're going with. You're investing in a solar company. We're in Solar City. Boom, done, got it.
Yeah.
Tesla, because we're electric cars. Tesla, everybody knows Tesla. That's what we're gonna do. You go to like Ford, they just name it after that dude.
Henry Ford's a dude, and he made cars. Boom.
It's like a last name or something that makes sense. Ocean, anything. What do you guys want to name it? Can we combine the word ocean, shark, and oil all in the same word? They're like, what? We're a shipping company. I want it all the same word. Oh, sure, oil.
Oh, shoral.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie has classic music, right? Everyone knows the shark theme, the Jaws theme.
Yeah.
John Williams, Steven Spielberg claims John Williams' score is what launched his career, right? Classic. The score is pretty good. I will say, did you notice the music super changed when they hook the shark with the barrel and the barrel starts moving in the water? There was like the silliest highfalutin string music playing. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Because the Jaws theme is so intimidating, and then when the barrel is like, I was like, this is silly. This is silly music.
Yeah, it was like the same kind of thing. Like when I'm trying to think. There's a specific movie I'm thinking of where they have like the same like floating barrel moving against the current, and it's just some old dude in his tiny little fishing boat, and it goes past him, and he's like, "Oh, what was that?"
Yeah, it's a classic moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it's the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah.
Like that kind of energy, but however many feet, great white that wants to murder them.
Yeah.
He's just killing for pleasure, Cody. That's what they said at one point.
Fun fact about this movie.
Yeah.
John Williams won the Academy Award for Best Original Score. But that year, John Williams was also conducting the orchestra at the Academy Awards.
Oh.
So he won the Oscar, had to come upstairs from the orchestra pit, get his award, go back down, and then keep conducting the music. It's a pretty baller move, I feel like.
Well, see, that's perfect. Who's going to play him off?
Uh-huh.
That's what I would have
You
done.
can't play him off.
You grab the mic and be like, you can't stop
You
me.
can't stop me.
What are you going to do, play me off? You don't have the
You
power.
don't have the power. You don't know when to start, and you don't know how hard to go without me. Yeah. I noticed one or two shots, maybe just one shot, where you could see the shore in the background of the orca in the middle of like their big fight, where they're like, "Oh, our engine just blew up, and now we're not going to be able to get back." Did you notice that too?
Yeah, but I got the impression that they were trying to get back to land.
Steven Spielberg talked about how he was like his biggest fear shooting the movie would be to like get shots of land in the background, so that people didn't feel like they were isolated out on the ocean.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They did talk about leading it back to shore, but then also at the end of the movie when there's like, okay, now the boat's gone and we're just got to paddle back to shore, they don't show them being anywhere near shore.
I thought it was like them. It was pointed at, like you could like see the shore with the lighthouse in the background.
See, I didn't see it. I was looking for it, I didn't see it.
Oh.
But I could have missed it for sure. Other than that, they did a good job not showing. I didn't really see land once they were out far, which is pretty smart. But
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because it really lowers the stakes when it's like, oh, I mean, if you're really close to the shore, I'm not like super worried about them, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, the Quint still died, so you know.
Quinn dies.
He dies. He gets got by the shark. He stabs him.
Just stab the shark.
He stabs the shark. But he survived the Indianapolis going down.
Yeah, he did.
That's because he gave his whole speech about that, and I was like, oh, that's why he hunts sharks.
That was really interesting. I liked that they didn't get along very well, and then they were all drunk in the boat and telling their stories about their scars and whatever, and then they became friends. And it was cool. I did like his speech. It was really interesting. Just him talking about like, oh, we were sitting there in our life jackets, and just sharks coming and going, and taking people as they went, and didn't send a boat for us. It's pretty cool. And I like that he's like, and I never wore never put on a life jacket again. And he doesn't. He dies without a life jacket.
Yeah.
Good for him, you know?
Yeah, he lives his dream. That's what we can all hope to do.
Yeah. Fun fact. The shooting stars, did you notice those towards the end? They're called shooting stars. Those are real shooting stars. They didn't add them in or wasn't an effect. It was just like, oh, we just caught one.
Cool. Well, there was 2 shots with one in it.
There were 2. They were real.
Both real, or was it the same one from different angles?
I would guess same one from different angles. But, hey, I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It was very good. I really liked it. It holds up well, I think.
Yeah.
It had actually a really solid plot. Sometimes you get into a shark movie and it's like, all right, what excuse can we get to have a shark? Whereas this one, I feel like it was pretty believable. Where you're like, oh gosh, the town wants to keep it hush hush. Brody wants to do his best. Brody's got his own fears, right? He doesn't want to swim because what was it? He almost drowned when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So everyone has like their fears they're like fighting against, and it's there's a little substance to it. In the end, just a good old-fashioned shark thriller.
Yeah.
One of the best, probably.
Yeah. Really ramped up shark fishing. Really ramped down the shark population around the world.
Oh. That's too bad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
But it's okay. They're coming back, and then somebody decided to throw shark fins in soup for some reason, and now they're not coming back.
That's always how it goes. It's always that. There's always like some country in the middle of nowhere that's like, hey, this thing for this really rare animal, I want it for 2 things. 1, a kind of useless delicacy, shark fin soup, which I have had.
I've heard it's not great.
Oh, I mean, it's like very similar to chicken soup. That's one of the things you're like, this is needless. This is terrible. Like, I liked it, and I was like, this is not worth any extra effort. Or number two, it treats infertility. Like, it's like, it's always what it is. It's always like, oh, a rhino horn. I need the horn, just the horn, because I need my dong to work. Like, that's not true. Please stop killing these animals.
I like how you compare. First off, I don't know if is it Japan or China that's super into the shark fin.
I believe it's China because I had it at a very authentic Chinese restaurant.
Okay. I don't know if I would describe China as the middle of nowhere. Areas of China.
I mean, I wasn't going to call it anyone in particular.
I'm calling them out because I think they're the only country that does it.
Yeah.
But I like how you compared like a national delicacy to the rhino horn.
Rhino horn for your nether regions,
which might have also been China, but I think it was other countries as well.
I think there's some. I forget. Once again, I'm not going to call her out because I can't remember specifically what country, but there's always some community that's not super science based. That's like, yeah, I need this very specific body part from a very endangered animal, and my nether regions they need a little kickstart, you know?
Yeah, everybody just needs to adopt. That's the one thing I do know is that I think it's China. Okay. But they do the sake with the snake in it. And it's not a rare snake, I don't think. I think it's just a snake.
Okay.
And that's supposed to make your dongle work.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. Then you could just put a rubber snake from Dollar General in there.
No one knows the difference.
No one knows. Except then they get lead paint poisoning.
Which, I mean, look. Alcohol, what is alcohol but a delicious poison?
Exactly.
You know? So there it is.
Exactly.
It's a twofer.
We've solved racism.
Fun fact. I am not making this up, okay? I am about to tell you a true fact. You're going to tell me that you think it's made up. The original director of this movie was named Dick Richards. You tell me how that works. You tell me how your first name is the nickname of your last name. All right? So do the math. His name is Dick Richards. Okay?
So his name is Richard Richards.
It has to be, right?
What's his middle name? Richard R. Richards?
This is a good question. And you know what we're going to do?
Look it up.
We're going to look it up. Because here's the thing. There is a man named Dick Richards. He produced Tootsie, which is a very famous movie, right? So he's not unsuccessful. It says... it's not even going to say his full name. All right. Here we go. We're doing a deeper dive. I mean, anyone whose first name is Dick, it's like, good for you for standing by your guns, all right? There's a very famous Dick who works at Cerner. His name is Dick. And he's held on to his guns, and he's done well in his career.
The guy that founded the company I work for, his name is Dick.
There you go.
And he is very clear that his name is Dick.
Yeah.
You do not call him Richard or any other thing.
It doesn't even explain his name. It just says his name's Dick Richards. I just don't get it. I'm trying to think, like, that would be like if my name was Bob Roberts. You know?
Yeah. It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. But Bob Roberts isn't, Bob isn't a nickname for anyone's dong, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a whole other aspect. Anyway, he didn't get to do the movie.
Yeah. I have another possibly less important one to bring up.
Yeah.
Roy Schneider, or Scheider.
Uh-huh. Scheider, yes.
He has got to be related to Rob Schneider. There is one letter difference in first and last name.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Roy Scheider,
uh-huh.
Right? Rob Schneider.
Yeah. No, I think you're really onto something.
They're connected somehow.
They have to be.
Here's what I think. Roy Scheider is a vampire or some kind of mythical creature. And he regenerated or something a la the Doctor from Doctor Who. Looks a little different, changed his name to Rob Schneider.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. You'll be interested to know this. Roy Scheider's grandchildren, they call him Chiefy and Grandpa Big Fish.
Because he's in the movie Big Fish?
Yeah, he's in the Tim Burton classic Big Fish.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Steven Spielberg nicknamed the shark Jaws Bruce. That was the name of the shark, Bruce, which I believe is why in Finding Nemo the shark's name is Bruce.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
On our way home, my wife, she pointed out a lot of things that reminded her of Bruce.
Yeah.
From the movie.
Okay.
Like, just little things like the fact that, the torpedo goes into the fish in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they get him. They put the torpedo in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's like the oxygen tank.
Oh, that's a good point.
There you go. And then she had other things that she mentioned.
That's a really good point.
That I don't.
I wouldn't even made that connection.
Yeah.
There were 3 sharks in this movie.
3.
3 mechanical sharks to film Bruce, right?
Bruce.
There's a left shark, a right shark, and then the whole shark. So you get different angles,
Yeah.
Does different things. I read 2 facts about this. Number 1, they're like, they never tested the shark in water. So immediately when they took it to shoot, it sank. Then I saw another fact that said they did test it in water, contrary to popular belief, but they did not test it in salt water. So once it got in the actual ocean, it gave them all kinds of problems having all the salt in the mechanisms and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to
So
say.
they did a freshwater test, but not a saltwater test. I don't know which one's true, but either way, that's fun. And they each cost $250,000 to make.
What?
Yeah. That'll buy you 2 weeks of a timeshare in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah. Fun fact, I recently discussed what a timeshare is with my wife.
Really? Hold on. Are you in the market?
No,
Because I have an exciting opportunity for you.
No, please no. I better get a boat out of this or something.
What if I can offer you a left-facing mechanical shark?
I only want the right one. I'm a right Twix man. I'm a right shark man.
I'm team left shark. Come fight me.
It's fair.
Fun fact, the dog in this movie, who you might remember was a good boy, is in fact Steven Spielberg's dog named Elmer, joining him in a club with Peter Jackson for having their own dog in their movie.
Whoa.
Remember?
I remember.
In The Hobbit, there's the little pug, and that's Peter Jackson's dog, whose name is something. Probably Lord Wellington. I don't know.
I was going to say Snuffles, but you said Lord Wellington. Very different attitudes towards dog naming there.
Yeah. I have one last fun fact.
You have so many fun facts. And they're so fun.
This is my final one. I know you're having a good time, but at some point it must come to an end. There are only so many facts to share.
Yeah.
My final fun fact. This movie was set to be released in December, right in time for Christmas. But production kept getting delayed, and so it ended up being a summer release. At the time, nobody saw movies in summers, right? Everyone's like, that's when we go outside to do things.
Right.
They released it. It was so popular that everyone still went and saw it, and it became like the best-selling movie to that point.
Ever.
Well, I guess it wouldn't be Gone with the Wind, but it was the first big summer release that made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Hence the birth of the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
And
movie. Look, you brought up Gone with the Wind. I'm going to say it.
What?
Gone with the Wind doesn't count. Everybody's like, Gone with the Wind is like the best-selling movie ever. And it's like, because it came out in like the Civil War and made $12.
That's a good point.
Which is like $1 trillion now or something ridiculous.
There's also when there were only 4 movies. And you're like, look, if there were 4 movies that came out last year, and one of them was Avengers Endgame would have sold more tickets than Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know.
I don't even know what the biggest one is now. I know it's going to be the next Avatar.
I don't want. I know I'm going to see it and contribute, but I don't want to.
Here's the point
I
of the
want
Avatar
Avengers
movies.
to have the record.
No.
I want.
This is the point of the Avatar movies.
I just got sad thinking about all the movies that were supposed to come out this year. Tenet. No Time to Die. Those are the real two I'm sad about. The other ones I can wait for. It's a sad time.
Jeffrey.
Mulan.
Is Mulan supposed to come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Mulan was supposed to come out in May. It was like the first big one to get the boot.
Oh yeah, because they couldn't put it out in China, which was that's the big one.
Right. It's a Chinese movie about China, for China.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't know if you know this. This is a controversial opinion. Mulan is Chinese. I know.
I think our president would disagree with you.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I just got sad again. I just remember that I have the same degree and level of education as our president.
Yeah, you do.
It makes me so sad.
Oh, yeah.
Or should I be happy to know that? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. I guess
You
it
could be
depends.
president. If it is the story of hope. If he can do it,
I mean,
anybody.
if
can
I
do
was
it.
like the right wing, staunchest Republican, I guess I would be like super happy, right? I'd be like,
yeah,
I did it.
but you have more education than Mulan.
I do. Why? Because
you're
she's
a man.
Chinese.
Oh. I think that might be a good spot to end the podcast. You know,
I would agree.
there's maybe get a little. Oh yeah, Oh, if you want to share.
If you want to get us canceled, just share this episode with anybody. It's called Opinion Havers.
Oh yeah,
We're on all the platforms.
feel free to add Opinion Havers. Just add Opinion Havers. That's Cody runs that. You can add him in all of your.
All your tweet rage can just come my way.
Oh
Man.
oh
Ugh.
yeah. We ticked so many boxes with that one thing. Okay, well, until next time,
Watch movies.
and have opinions.
Uh,
I think we just gotta stop it.
Bleep me out.